Hi guys, this is lychee with top tier tiers. Banlist Roundtable, inclusive of Tierlist. It's a little bit late, but scheduling had to happen, and some of us had some personal events going on, so it had to be delayed a little. I'm joined with my co-host Tom, as always,
Hello.
and we also have three guests who are all returning guests, but all very esteemed in their own right. I'll leave them to introduce themselves. First we have left to right, I guess. First we have Cele
Hi.
or yeah, latency. Cele is a recent participant in the World Championships where he top aided. Congratulations to him. Shout outs to Strictly Broken, etc. Speaking of Strictly Broken, we also have another rep who goes by what was I going? Wibbs. Let's go with that.
Wibbs? Okay. Hey, I'm Wibbs.
Yep. He got killed by the world champion in his attempts at glory, but I think that's a very honorable sword to die on. And lastly, we have Zabuton returning.
Hi, it's nice to be back.
Yeah, it's nice to have you as always. So yeah, we've got a diverse series of people here who play both sides of the game, but today we're mostly talking about the Japanese side as usual. But before we get onto the ban list and everything, because of people here were pretty involved in the competitive side of things, I thought it might be well, it wasn't me. Tom wrote this. Tom wrote this cast plan, but he thought it'd be good if we talked about the various representations, how the meta in 2019, 2020 is shaping up, and what. Well, I'm going to add this: what we've been playing, what we think is fun to play right now. So let's just start with the representation. Does anyone want to kick us off?
I can start talking a bit
Uh,
about
Yeah,
how
go
the
for
year
it.
went.
Okay.
Because from our last cast was in August, right? So since then, I think Fate really took over in Japan. Like I think
Yeah.
shortly after our cast, Fate started really picking up steam there. Um, and yeah, that was basically what what Japan was mostly hyped on. That and Saikano, which came out a bit after the cast, I think in October or November.
Oh, they were still very high on that Love Sunshine.
Yeah, like as you can see, like Sunshine had like the highest rep, and Saikano also had pretty like decently high rep. Overperforming were mostly like the big overperformers, I guess, from this stat were especially Kemono Friends. And then like from the more played decks, you had Sunshine, Love Life, OG Love Life, and Fate. And I guess Fujimi also did pretty well. So yeah,
pretty self-explanatory. I think they were.
Wait, what are you looking at?
oh shit, I'm looking at trios, not
Yeah,
at
trios,
singles.
not the singles. Yeah, I was wondering.
Yeah. Oh, rip.
Well, Kimono did overperform in singles as well.
Kimono performed in singles as well. But
Yeah.
Konosuba, Sunshine as well. I think
Yeah.
say Review and Fate also like still overperformed.
Fate. So
Yeah.
Love Live did not fare as well.
Wait, sorry, where's
Singles.
Review?
Review? RSL.
Am I blind?
It's
the fourth one
from the left.
Oh yeah, I am blind. Thank you. Found it.
Yeah.
I think interesting tidbits are that like Bunny Girl, which was pretty hyped earlier in the year, kind of tanked in rep and then like conversion. It still saw play, but definitely not as much.
Flatline conversion. It's
better
than KC and
and Saikano is actually like only had okay conversion.
Cardcaptor Sakura did pretty terrible. That deck was hyped.
Yeah. Saikano, they're playing the build, which we can talk about that later, but
Yeah,
I'm not that surprised that happened. And SAO is always, highly represented in Japan. Lots of good players like to play it, so it's not surprising that it did quite well. Yeah, it's actually pretty typical aside from the Sun Fate spike.
Bang Dream.
I think
If we
that-
we could look at like what changed since BCF 2, I guess. We'll
Hmm.
talk about that. I think the most notable difference is Bang Dream fell off a lot. Bang Dream fell off a cliff. Enology is not even represented enough, played enough to be represented here.
That deck couldn't beat Fate.
Yeah. So like, I guess like the big change here is like the Fate representation,
Yeah.
as Celes said.
Yeah, it's like all the decks that dropped off from BCF just seemed like decks that couldn't deal with Fate or Psychon, like Overlord, Summer Pockets, IMS.
I think it's
Nanoha.
mostly Fate.
Nanoha.
Well, isn't Nanoha like pretty good against Fate though?
The Iris
I
Army
think-
deck isn't.
I think.
Well,
Is that what they were playing? I think.
Yeah, so
No, that was one guy.
Yeah, but isn't that stat the Iris Army?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's the only top for Nanoha.
Yes.
He is
it
the
should-
only top on the height.
Yeah, so that should be Iris Army. So like that's the deck that you should be looking at.
People also just stopped playing it.
Yeah, sure.
He also had a teammate who bought out all the stock in Akihara and boasted about it on Twitter, so I don't think many people could play the deck even if they wanted to.
Nice. buying a deck out of the meta. That's peak TCG, man. No, everything's pretty expected. Cardcaptor Sakura did actually better than I thought it would, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I was not expecting
Yeah.
anything of that deck. I underestimated it heavily. But
Yeah, a
then
lot of-
someone
Like back when like the meta was bunny girl dominant, like a lot of people were looking at Cardcaptor Sakura as like one of the next best decks. So like I'm
Yeah.
surprised it did so poorly. Like it
I
does
think
do
I think it did about what I would expect it to.
like
it's respectable.
in terms of like the meta, it does do bad against Psychono and Fate. It's like sort of expected results in hindsight, but like that deck was one of the favorite decks going into BCS.
Well, let's remember that this is still a very small data set, all things considered. So even being on the data set, I think Cardcaptor Sakura did, at least it spiked, or someone was playing it. Because like you can look at Konosuba's rep here in the WGP and think, wow, Konosuba's great. Look at that spike in XO. But that that doesn't actually mean very much because the data set's so small, and Konosuba is one of those decks which has a not negative matchup against Fate anyway.
Yeah.
Um,
Interestingly enough, Konosuba isn't even in the trios chart.
Yeah, which is well,
That's a good
I think
segue into talking about trios, I guess. If we
the climate is that because the decks like Fate and other decks that Konosuba is fine against are very prevalent. Like Fate was the big boogeyman. When people started calling it Fate Control, I think Japan really took a liking to it, which says something about the which says something
When did
about
people start calling it Fate Control? I only started hearing that after the ban list.
really.
Yeah.
It was being thrown around a lot, I thought.
I've only really been looking at Japanese channels when everyone just called it Gold Bar Fate or Door Bar Fate.
Well, it played as control deck, and like that was pretty evident.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, no, that's kind of, yeah, I guess.
I think
as
that
control
far
as a deck could get in Weiss, I guess.
yeah, it's pretty
Well, I mean,
controlling overall.
your peak just happens to be level 2,
But it
yeah,
also
it's,
happens to have 8 gold bars, which I don't think is indicative of a control deck in Weiss. Like 8 standby is a control deck, right?
8 standby is certainly 8 gold bars. Well,
I don't think 8
that's
gold
your
bars.
grasp.
Anyway,
I
And
mean,
so
we don't
however you wanna
really need to
define
put like a
that.
term on it. It was a deck with like defensive and offensive options at like
Yeah,
most stages.
it's not purely control. Well, anyway,
it's definitely not a control deck. It definitely had the powerful mid game tempo option, which is I value that highly about the deck, but that's just me. Anyway, trios. So very briefly, let's touch on the BCF trios, where the most dominant conversion decks were, well, Hinologi was probably the most relative,
Oh, this
as
was
well as ReZero
well,
and Goblin Slayer.
This is BCF, so this was earlier in the year. WGP.
Yeah, that's what I'm
okay,
saying.
okay,
I'm
okay,
saying
sure.
BCF.
I
Which is
don't remember why ReZero had good conversion back then.
There was a big spike in 8-book play around then. I don't actually know why.
It's
Maybe they
really
thought
weird
it was
because
mainstream.
it's weird that
Wait,
people
maybe
would take that in trios when in trios it's acceptable, but Logic was in that format and
yeah, that's the thing. When there's a
That's
deck
weird.
with one awful matchup, I think playing in trios
Wait,
is less
But
ridiculous.
ReZero wins against Logic.
Let's not have that discussion. You think ReZero wins against everything, and that's not really the climate elsewhere.
I mean, we're just talking about
Now
what the players thought,
Yeah.
at least in Japan.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they
Yeah,
weren't playing Reinhardt, right?
They probably were not. No,
there were a
I'd
few
be
people
surprised if
playing
they
it here and there, but none that topped as far as I remember.
Okay.
Yeah. Whereas Reinhardt is basically an auto-include in any Western build, and there's like 2 people still running it.
No, it's
Shout
just
outs to
really
that.
good against Logi if that's like a thing you're considering. But yeah.
Well,
Reinhardt's
yeah, but if
pretty
you're
good in that build.
Yeah, it is good. But if for some unholy reason you're behind, Reinhardt doesn't actually save you, and that'd be pretty depressing actually. Now let's move on to WGP trios, and the big spike is Love Live.
And
Like,
Kimono.
I mean, Kimono's rep is still really garbage. It just happened to top a bunch in presumably like 2 plays.
I guess.
I think
Love Live Sunshine, despite having like a third of the number of people playing it in total.
Yeah,
That's pretty.
It has the same conversion as Sunshine.
Yeah. Whereas it wasn't even present on the last chart. I think we attribute that to the booster releasing and people deciding that they liked stock charge into completely unfair top end, which I think is pretty good.
Wait, which deck are we talking? Oh, the OG Love Live.
Yeah, OG Love Live.
Okay.
Psychono obviously spiked up because it didn't exist before. I guess Love Live also didn't exist before, so that's fine.
Yeah. Same
And
no, sorry, Sunshine did kind of exist. It's got buffed.
Yeah, it got better.
I mean, they played a different deck though, right? I think the
Bunny
deck
Girl
changed.
stayed the same mostly, I think.
It was basically the same. And Cardcaptor Sakura came out of nowhere a little bit. Again, like I said earlier, small data set, not that big a deal. None of this is really a big deal, but it's good to analyze.
Review fell quite a bit, actually, from singles to trios.
Originally,
Review also came pretty late into the season, right? So.
Well,
it was released a day before one of them. I'll look it up now.
It was released end of November. Like it was definitely released after Saikano. I think a bunch of tournaments went by before it.
Review was released 8th of November, and
people weren't. I mean, like that doesn't explain the drop off from singles to trios, though, right?
Yeah.
In terms of like performance.
No, it's.
Oh, that's true.
Considering it was released, well, exactly halfway into the season, I guess the rep is pretty high.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah,
that's actually pretty surprising.
Yeah. There was a singles event directly after the release of Review where the finals match was a Wind Pants mirror. So I guess that played a part.
Remember, like, this is still a very small subset, so we can't really say an enormous amount of stuff about anything.
And then, of course, we see like the typical random, maybe like the sets that weren't represented in the singles graph are going to be in trios simply because of the nature of the format.
I feel so bad for Million Live. Look at it; it has no green at all.
Wait, Sinful Gear's on this list.
Yes, Sinful Gear's on this list.
Sinful Gear.
So is Fujimi.
Sinful Gear's like the perfect. It's like the tier 1.5 deck, or maybe tier 2. I don't know how you want to call it, but it's like almost there, and that makes it good enough for trios, which is pretty cool.
Did we talk about Love Live yet? Like original, doing really well.
Yes, that was what I used to segue in because I thought it was pretty good. Like I thought it did pretty good. But
I think
again, we'll figure that out, right?
Say
I'd be
again,
happier
Ken?
to take that at trio. I'd be happy to take Love Live to trio than
I see. Why do you feel that way
singles.
about Love Live?
It's very its combat game isn't very strong. And especially for playing Gold Bar Book, if your climaxes are towards the bottom of your deck, the value of triggering them goes down by a heap.
So it's
I
like
guess it's kind of
a
nice.
consistency issue for you?
Yeah, it's strong in its strong games, but every now and then it just hiccups, and it's pretty annoying when you're playing singles. So in trio, it's a bit more acceptable in my
I would
opinion.
blame it a bit less on like the climax lineup, but also the deck. Like the main plussing engine of the deck is actually just brainstorm, and if you whiff the brainstorm, sometimes the deck just feels really bad.
I
also think the deck doesn't do much without stock. So if you whiff that combo,
yeah, sure.
I mean,
you're actually just doing nothing.
Though.
Well, the deck is more likely to have stock than hand. More likely to have a lot of stock in no hand than the opposite, right? That's how it is.
Maybe.
I don't think it's the end of the world if you miss the combo, but you do want stock, so
well, no, it's not the end of the world.
Accelerate an extra time to get stock off Mucky or something.
Yeah.
I don't think
you can
it's
also
ideal,
do the
though.
combo later. You'll trigger a gold bar at one point, and then you can just do the 1-0 or the 2-1 combo, and it's still okay.
Yeah, it's a bit of awkwardness around it.
Yeah, I think for singles it's not the most consistent deck. I'd agree with like that notion.
Yeah.
But because you can sometimes get carried by teammates in trios, that's fine because it's still really explosive.
Alex is gonna hate this part already.
What do you mean? That's just how it is.
Age-old consistency versus like.
Can we also say that like because like the chance to run into stock swap is a lot lower in trios?
That is true.
Like if you look at
there's more Love Live. There's more Love Live, so there's actually more stock swap, dude.
The two most
there. Well, compared to like
sets.
compared to singles, like if the boogeyman of singles was Fate, and that has stock swap, so like playing like a stock charge deck into a Fate meta doesn't sound very good, but you're less likely to run into Fate in trios.
Then again, 20% of all decks taken to trios. 20% of all teams had Love Live.
Wait. Green is
Green is EXO.
I thought you were reading Fates. I thought you were reading Fates Green. Sorry.
No.
I think Ken
was Ken. Sorry.
Remember that the
I was just saying that the most played sets in trios aren't playing any real decompressing methods, so I guess that's kind of a plus.
Only Love Live does.
Love Live can.
Yeah, Love Live Sunshine just uses that mill counter. Saikano doesn't do anything. Love Live does. And then Alberta has the top 4, and that's about it.
You have to remember that a lot of trio decks, a lot of trio decks are just the decks that the third player wanted to play or just had lying around, which is why you've still got a lot of Bang Dream, you've still got a lot of Love Live Sunshine. They're just going to be inflated by default, which is why it's just one data set. Can't take it too seriously. Speaking of data sets that we shouldn't take too seriously, we've also got oh god, this is like the worst arranged pie graph I've ever seen. I'm so sorry to
everybody. That's way too many entries.
Yeah.
I hate looking at this pie graph. I'm so sorry. This is on
we can have Christian talk about it though.
The White Schwartz European League.
To sum up though, well, I could actually try present because I compiled it. For the most part, not much changed since the last time we covered this. There's like less of an obvious cutoff as far as like recording data, because I think the time, not many more like top / like tournaments happened, I guess, since the last time we did this. I think the major changes are like a bit more Bang Dream and a bit more Sao, and I think that's about it. I think those are the main ones. Those are the ones that jumped up a lot.
So for the people who don't know what this is and how this works, basically imagine like once a month each country or like each shop in a country has like a ladder tournament, and it's like not basically you treat it as not just the random locals, but also not like as a serious tournament. So it's like somewhere in between, like kind of like the WGP regionals. I think it's like a pretty similar comparison. And they're also like mixed card pools, so the English sets are gonna be inflated because there's some locals that are English only, in Spain and in Italy and in some countries. So AOT, Bangdream, SAO, basically all the sets that are also in English are gonna be inflated automatically.
Yeah.
No.
Wait, sorry. You said WGP Regionals are a particularly serious tournament, but what is a serious tournament then?
Well, okay, like in NA it would be like the WGP finals.
It depends
So
on.
it would also be the WGP
So in
finals,
NA,
right?
it's like pretty variable. Some regions have more competitive regionals than others.
Yeah, it's like some WGP qualifiers have like 4 people, and then some will have like 55. It's actually just depending on region.
Okay.
It's just
So
a consequence of the way the WICE player base is spread across.
So
North
it's
America.
serious if you want it to be.
Yeah.
It's
Okay. Fair.
Well,
yeah.
it's like
it's more like serious if you're fortunate enough to be in an area where there's a lot of like WICE players.
Yeah. So like in Toronto, we have like 40 plus people for WGP, so like we get to take it seriously, which is nice. But if like I was in Las Vegas, for example, they have like 6 people. It's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah. Overall, I think the big winners for Europe's season are gonna be like AOT, Bang Dream, Sao, Summer Pockets, Konosuba. Everything else.
Not going.
The big winners are the people who won with Gargantia.
Well, that was one thing I was gonna say, but the other big winners are the people who talk shit about our Buddha, because that deck was like
notably, Europe did not really play that much Goblin Slayer, not much Fujimi.
The Goblin Slayer I'm surprised about.
Not much Albuta either, I think. I think Albuta never
Is Albuta even here?
No, I think it might not be.
I don't think
it's not. Yeah, not enough people
Didn't
play
even
it.
make the cutoff.
Yeah.
No, it's there. SPY 0.9%.
Wait.
Oh shit.
Sorry, giving me the number doesn't help because this isn't in order of representation.
Yeah, that's why I said this is the worst pie graph I've ever seen in my life.
So wait, where is it? SBY.
It's like the top right of the old represented one. The updated one I don't think.
I'm looking at the new one.
Yeah, it's not
okay.
the new one.
Yeah, I found it.
So sorry about that. I confused everyone. Yeah, it's just not on any charts anymore because no one played it despite it being a pretty popular set.
There's more people who played Steins Gate in the new one than Albuta.
Look, Steins Gate's a very popular series. Like, that's not actually that surprising.
That's true. That is true.
Whereas you've got, like, freaking Yuna. Yuna got more reps than Albuta. Like, there's definitely some very strange stats here. But that's, again, small data set. Very, very, very different communities. Like, keep in mind, we not only are collating more data here, but we're collating data from a crap ton of isolated communities, as opposed to Japan, which is like Japan has people who actually travel to all of their tournaments and put up consistent performance. So it is very difficult to compare these two and say one is, they're not really comparable. Which is why earlier I cut Tom off very rudely, but he was talking about how the big winners were like Bang Dream, AOT, SAO, Konosuba, the biggest slice of the pie, basically. And there's an inordinate amount of Persona 5 and ReZero compared to everything else as well.
Sorry, I screwed up a little bit.
Yeah, but that's like the data you can take something away from because it shows.
By the way,
yep.
Remember that all of these sets are also out in English.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't even realize that.
Oh no, I thought that was. I mean, Fate Apocrypha has 3.2%, which is, well,
I think that's the English bias we can attribute it to. Oh my
Wait, how does
god.
Index and Railgun have 3.3%?
Railgun is really popular in Europe.
Yeah, Index and
Huh.
Railgun is just randomly popular in Europe, presumably because I don't know. Well, the Index 3 had an Italy arc. That's probably why.
Thankfully
What?
to Overture.
No, yeah.
So Albuta is
Um,
supposed to be there, but it's not labeled for some reason. So Albuta was 0.7% of all top threes, and 1% of all red. 1% of all red. Overall.
Wait, so Albuta crushed.
No, it didn't.
Wait, 1% of rep and 7% of top
No,
three?
0.7.
0.7.
Oh my god. Oh, yeah, I was
21
shocked.
people out of 2,083 entries. 21 people played Albuta.
God,
They did their best.
Abuda did worse than Monogatari. God.
I feel so sorry, Albuta players. That's I'm a bully, but I'm not that much of a bully. Oh my god.
I guess we can talk about the ban list.
Yeah, I think we've because like these data sets do not mean an enormous amount. Let's move on to the data list, which
So-
is
It's interesting seeing that.
yeah,
what was
as
the-
usual, provided to us by well, anime Macquarie, I guess is what's on here, but I don't know if we want to shout. Do we want to shout him out? I think we want to shout him out, right?
Yeah, he would appreciate it.
Why do we keep cutting him off? That's a good point.
Veranda.
Okay.
No.
That's what
So
he
let's
goes off
just-
to mine.
Yeah, that's well, we'll use his online name. That's fine. But yeah, he's always doing these visuals. They're fantastic. They look better than any Banlist visuals in any other card game by far, if you ask me. That's partly because White's cards look good, but I think he does a fantastic job. So the actual changes to the ban list, there were 5 series impacted, I believe.
We can talk about the buffs first. Good news
6.
first.
No, 5.
Buffs first.
Yeah, let's talk about the meme first. So Unban America, it didn't fully happen, but it kind of happened. America is now 2 copies. For those who started after 2005 or whenever it was, Nisekoi was really good.
I think it's
Nisekoi was the
14.
first. 2014, sorry. So Nisekoi was like the first actually modern deck. It had like a brainstorm. It had a Global Soul Plusing combo. It had an early play and good finishes. Now, that sounds very ho-hum nowadays, but back then, no deck had all of this and was also very efficient. So Nisekoi was the first deck to not only have this, but have it all in one booster, which meant that it was designed from the ground up. It took, I think there were 2 top 16s at the Tokyo finals that year, and it took 30 out of the 32 top 16 blocks, which is obscene. Like, no set has ever done that. Even when Railgun was OP, it only took like 29 or 28 of the equivalents, because there was still some other decks like running around there like Idolmaster. But Nisekoi dominated everything, and it was fair to say it was the SS ranked deck. So when it was banned with extreme prejudice. It's been unbanned a little bit here and there, but like I said earlier, it was the first ever modern deck, which means it has been power crept out of existence. I would not expect Nisekoi to do anything, and anyone who went and bought America SP is either deluded or doing it for the memes. That's
Or
my
he
take.
just likes Marika.
I miss when Nisekoi is good.
I thought Nisekoi mirrors were surprisingly skill-based, but most people hate mirrors, so I can agree with it.
I don't mind mirrors in general, but I don't think the mirror for Nisekoi was particularly skill-based.
My win rate with Nisekoi mirrors was higher than like any other format I've ever played in any card game, and I don't know whether that's skill-based or whether that's just everyone else not understanding the matchup. Doesn't that make it skill-based?
I feel like it was probably other people not understanding the matchup, but
Wouldn't that make it skill-based then?
It doesn't really matter.
no, like
Let the old people talk
fair,
about
fair.
old people times. Nisekoi is not gonna do anything now, and it won't do anything if Marika ever gets to 4.
The
Oh,
second
Nisekoi
the second
same
change,
year as Kill la Kill. What the hell?
and the
Did
second
decks ever
buff.
reach-
Sorry.
Oh my
just,
god.
we'll just move on
2014
with
deck
the...
was so bad, basically. Yeah, and Monogatari got a buff. In that its Shinobu Oshino was banned. The reason for this card being banned was always a bit sus because this card featured prominently in decks that loot the level 3 Mayoi a lot. Because this was just another out to getting your Mayoi spam.
Well, no, it was like also because the deck didn't really run a brainstorm. This card was important.
Just a consistency.
Yeah, it's a huge consistency.
It
engine.
made the cat like a 100% consistent. And then like once you got your cats out, every time you played this card, it was just giving you free compression because you didn't have hand problems because cat never died.
Yeah.
Sure. Is that the case anymore?
No.
Monogatari won't do anything
It has
anymore.
been a long time since the glory days.
Cat is just really badly positioned right now because decks can contest level 2 a lot better.
Cat got power creeped out. like that's just the fact of the game. That's just the fact of it. It's got power creeped out.
Also, there's like more sets with stock swap now. So
there's more sets with stock swap.
Avenue.
Like the strength of like a free 2/2 at 2 is like super diminished when standby exists. And then like there's a bunch of other decks that are better than what Cap can do.
Yeah.
Sorry, apparently I'm echoing.
But yeah, 2 inconsequential buffs. I think Bushiroad should have like.
They're never gonna do it.
Fully
They're never gonna let loose the the Hounds of War.
Like
never gonna happen.
CG Monogatari could come complete. Like almost everything could come completely off except for like the newer restrictions. But Bushiroad is super conservative and rarely.
I mean,
ever
I understand. You look like an idiot if you just released a bunch of things off the ban list and then it messed up. Because with bannings, everyone who plays the game basically tests for you and says these things should be banned, but you don't have a testing team for what should be unbanned. Because
I mean, isn't it more important to service the players though? I feel like that argument makes more sense if you just want to save face. But if you really care, if you really care about the players, though, I feel like you should do things for the players, and I think unbanning stuff is like a player first move.
Companies care more about saving face than about serving their player base.
Yeah,
I agree.
That said,
I
like
think that's actually a high
lot
priority.
of the old restrictions are like definitely safe to put off if they like put any thought into it. So
if they tested it a bit, and I think there's a lot of things that could probably come off and wouldn't be too problematic.
They obviously put some thought into it. It's not like they're brainless. They're just
But you can't dedicate
very concerned.
The thought put in was like minimal thought. Let's not rock the boat. Let's just ban what's relevant because we don't need to service the players by making these old irrelevant decks relevant again. Not that they won't be, but if they were, and for some reason unbanned Monogatari took the islands by storm, then they'd look pretty dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I do agree. It's like it's not a saving face thing, but it's rather let's not bother with any of this. Let's just not rock the boat.
Sure. Now on to some nerfs.
Yeah, following on. So well, once again, the prodigal son gets punched in the face yet again. Love Live Sunshine, after being hit 2 times previously, have had a 3rd card added, and once again it is. Sorry, fourth card. 3rd time it's been hit. The 4th card added, in addition to its limited yo, is the Murray Drop Search, Water Blue New World, which is the 3rd consistency card on the list hit, and is my least favorite way of banning things because banning the consistency doesn't actually diminish the power of the deck. When I say power, I'm not counting consistency because that is power. That is power, but not power. And that means this. Go on. You're gonna say something?
I'm okay with this actually. Mostly okay.
I think
it's
Yeah,
like
of course
it's a
it's okay, but the
very
deck is
it's a
still
very
alive.
replaceable function. So I mean,
The deck is still alive. Like,
You played Love Live Sunshine, well, the 8 standby build that's popular in Japan. One thing that this card did a lot was you turn your Rico sideways. Top card of your deck happens to be the climax for your level 3 Yor, and then you draw it and kill your opponent. And not being able to do that is kind of big, but clearly
Wait,
the offender
really?
here is Mirai Ticket Rico, so
Oh.
as long as that card's a thing, level 0s in this set are just inevitably going to be on the watch.
the thing about the Love Live Sunshine bans is that they're very obviously keeping the deck alive in some incarnation, which
Yeah.
I find to be an inconsistent strategy with one of the other sets that they decided to hit. I'm not going to spoil which one, but we'll get to that in a minute. And I think that is hypocrisy. I think that's absolute nonsense. If you're going to kill a deck, you should just kill it. I think Konami actually has it right for once.
Well, the thing is, Sunshine has been like a good deck for, or a very much played deck for a long time. As
And
has
why
been,
do you think that is?
well, it's a popular IP.
Well, no, it's because
And
it's
it
been
has-
kept alive so much.
Yeah, well, that too. Well, I think
I
the
think
last
it
Banlist was
briefly
actually
died after
pretty
the
harsh.
first.
But like the thing is that
Wait.
always after Sunshine gets nerfed, it also gets a new set, and that's what keeps it alive.
Yeah, and that is actually the case with the other set we're about to talk about too, indirectly. But in this case, they're not doing this because they don't have anything planned in the immediate future for Love Live Sunshine. We have their prospects up until mid 2020, so they want all the Sunshine players to keep playing. And yeah, it's like I don't like this philosophy. It's there's very clear favoritism. It makes sense from like a business perspective, kind of. I don't think it really makes sense from whatever, but it's a little frustrating for me.
I do think the nerf is still pretty significant to the deck. I think Sunshine got a lot worse, not being able to play the card.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Weaker.
I think it's weaker,
very
but not
strong card.
like. I mean, if you wanted to play the deck, you're still gonna play the deck. It still
It-
holds what
Still
made it
functional,
desirable
but
and strong in
it's
the
a
meta.
lot. I think it's a lot less consistent, which is
I think that's
relevant.
very
Yeah.
significant.
I
Yeah,
mean, I'm playing it now, and every time I turn my Rico sideways and see the top card of my deck is that Yor climax, I just think about how much I want to draw it. So yeah, it does kind of hurt.
I mean
but
that's
still a
Um,
deck.
I don't know
I'm
how much
mostly
that
talking
really
about
happened.
like the SMP style deck, and it also really hurts there.
Is that even
yeah.
played?
I mean, it wasn't
They don't
really.
They don't play Guilty Kiss. They only play 8 standby, right?
Some I saw some Japanese lists dabble, but it's not.
There's this
wasn't,
one guy who's been topping the last month with 4 book 3 door 1 standby. He's a pretty well-known player in Japan.
God.
But
Crazy.
he posted his list
You
like
can be
3 or
well
4
known and
times now.
still be a psychopath. Like that's totally cool.
And the other nerf was to Kimono Friends. The
Yes.
rediscovered
Kimono Friend.
the deck that was rediscovered.
I mean, the version of the deck that was rediscovered wasn't like it was played briefly, but then people gave it up. And then they tried Dolphin, and since Dolphin was too vulnerable for Japan's liking, they just stopped playing the deck.
They tried Dolphin? I thought they didn't try Dolphin.
What are we talking about?
Kimono.
They tried Dolphin.
We're just
I'm like
No. I know we're talking about Kimono, but which period did they try Dolphin in?
like a little bit after release. I'm like,
No. So one of the
fair.
reasons Dolphin stopped getting played then was because SAO Ordinal Scale came out. Then
yes.
It sucks when your Dolphin start getting sent to memory at level 2.
Yes, the ultimate
that
counter.
makes a lot of sense. So,
Yeah. But they didn't go back to Dolphin. They went to
Coin flips, which
Yeah.
I still
Yeah,
don't really
coin
get.
yeah,
flips.
that's what they tend to do.
cheap healing, stock gen, basically.
Yeah.
And this hit basically prevents you from running, I guess, their premier healing card and the premier stock charging engine in the same deck, which I guess is fair.
Which one of these would you pick? Like which of these two? I'm actually not sure.
I never ran the healing card in the first place. I thought it was
Really?
always very inconsequential.
Really?
It's just a 1-cost heal. Like,
It's
I mean, it's
just a
replaceable,
1-cost
but
heal.
It's just a 1-cost heal that costs no hand.
Damn.
no, but like,
Just a 1-cost heal.
dude,
it's
Albuta has like a
replaceable, but it's super
1-cost heal.
strong.
Well,
That's recyclable. This isn't recyclable. You need to draw this and you need to commit.
Yeah, but it
4
goes to
slots
this
them.
card is compression neutral when you use it, right? Oh,
Yeah,
not
but
sorry.
Yeah, but okay, so but
Well, no, it's not.
Only one
like,
card goes to your bit.
Kemono
The
doesn't
card is
even have
incredible.
ways of drawing into this. You need to
You
commit 4
have
deck
Kaban
slots
to
to this.
search it, and
Yeah, but if you
If
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 you
you,
use
if you don't
Kaban,
draw into it,
So-
that's kind of
minus
fine.
1.
Christian would choose alpaca, I would
Yes.
assume.
Okay.
I think
What
you choose
would
the
everybody else choose?
I think you choose the heal event.
I think
I'm more heavily on the heal event, but I don't think Alpaca is a choice.
But
I think
okay, so
like what you can do is you can actually just cut standby from the list and pick heal event,
Yeah.
and then play something like bar, and then
Yeah.
play like the stock charge level 1 and go bar door.
That sounds reasonable.
I
okay,
think I would pick
counter-
Alpaca.
Do you think?
Counter argument.
Well, one sec.
counter argument.
One sec. I want to ask: do you guys who would pick the heal event, do you think the deck is significantly weaker? Don't move that. It's artistic. Stop it. Move it back.
I
Do you
did.
guys think the
Calm
deck
down.
is significantly weaker with this choose 1 or 2?
No, I don't actually. I think it's like actually the same power level that it used to be.
Do you think that Kimono was a beneficiary of opportunity? I
ban.
guess like a good meta, right? Good meta for it, or
Like a good meta, which is why it got rediscovered.
yeah, or do you think it'll continue to do well in 2020?
I think if they left it unbanned, it would have continued to do.
I think if
I don't think Gold Bar
people-
is inherently weak, but I'm
I
not
think-
sure if it's kept up.
I think if people keep playing the deck, it'll still see results. It's just I don't know if people will want to keep it after the ban list.
Okay.
All right. Well,
It's all
Christian,
meta.
you
I
wanted
think-
to say
Yes.
something very quickly.
Somebody talked about standby and alpaca, and I'm just counterpoint to like alpaca in any way being related to standby. Standbying out the card is awful. If you hard play standby from hand, and you can
Yeah,
just
it
like
does nothing.
but you can just if you play alpaca and then wait the turn, you can basically have 1-cost heals for every further turn, and you don't need to draw events for every further like 1-cost heal that you want.
Yeah, but with alpaca, the event is a 0-cost heal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
sure,
you
but like
also
if
can't
you're
search it
choosing the
efficiently.
event
Oh,
instead
sure,
of alpaca.
sure. If that is the okay,
Oh,
I guess I see your point now. That's fair. I mean, it's not like anybody was discounting alpaca choice here.
Yeah.
It's a powerful card.
Also one thing to mention with like the event, and one of the reasons why I never really liked this is green is a horrible color in Kimono Friends.
Yeah, it doesn't bring it up to the table.
I guess
Is
it
it?
is worse.
You
Yeah.
play like I think the list would only play 8 green cards, and it was like 4 event and then 4 drop searcher. I think is the card.
Yes. Ah, dude, the revolution.
Oh, fair.
The revolution will be televised.
I think that was it.
Well,
Green is not a good color in Kimono Friends. Just saying.
with that being said,
Let's go to a good
we can
green
move.
deck.
We can move on to the final item
To
on the
the
change
saddest,
list.
the saddest ban list
I
change
guess-
ever done ever.
I guess I'll
It-
cover it because
Is this the
Yeah.
harshest ban list change we've ever had? Like, is this
Yes.
actually is this worse than original
Okay.
Nisekoi?
well, let me read out what was how Fate was unceremoniously
Manhandled.
killed,
Manhandled.
taken out to the back.
Old
Choose one of
faithful.
5 with a
It's
3/3
to
event.
choose one of 4.
Choose one of
Yeah,
4.
well,
Let's
choose
not
one of
be
4.
too dramatic.
Hey, you could run 8 copies of the free fresh before.
Yeah.
3/3 event.
I think I think
0/0
realistic
Shiro
number is
clock on
5.
core.
He
0/0
just-
Azus
he's
Illy
joking,
Azusa.
but, yeah.
And both copies of the free fresh are on the choose one of 4/5. Yeah. These
sorry,
are
can I
really
just-
important. Well, with the 3-3 event is like,
Whatever.
well, it was kind of important, but the real hits here are for the Free Fresh, the Azusa,
Yeah.
and the Clock
And the Chiro Avenger.
Can I
They're
say
like,
something about the Free Fresh?
Sure.
So if you look at the World Champions list for his Worlds deck, he's plays four copies of one of them. But if you look at his Nationals list, he's plays 3 and 1.
Oh my
So
god.
I think.
Oh
so
my god.
I think he was going into Nationals trying to trick someone into thinking that he's maybe playing 5, but then he decided it wasn't worth it for Worlds.
Well, in any case,
That
What do
sounds
you
like
even
waste of
gain
effort.
of tricking someone into thinking you're playing 5?
Oh
I don't
no,
know,
they're
but
going
that's
to
the
get
only
a
reasonable
complete card.
explanation.
no,
Like, if it's like an
here's the play,
anti-change
right?
counter, it makes sense. But if something like this, I
so
don't know.
for those
Sure.
not in the know, Fate was a
Oh no, sorry. When you level 1 and your opponent sees some number, your opponent sorry, if you have 1 in your level zone and then you have 3 more in your bin or stock or whatever, your opponent might think that you still might have 1 in your hand.
Yeah, but
I
how
don't know
does
if
it
that's a
change
bit of
how the
advantage.
opponent plays?
That you can't
what a
do anything
weird,
about that. You
what a
can't force
weird
it or
angle
anything.
shoot we got going on.
Look,
here.
I don't know. But
I think
it
that
is
unless
something
you
that he
played-
did.
I think
Unless you
Angle,
played
like,
Fate Coin Flip. No, because unless you played Fate Coin Flip and you already played Fate, you already had 2 to 3 copies of the Free Fresh. Because that was never a 4 of. So it just makes sense to buy 1 more, right? Like that
Well-
might just be
So Fate as it was played in 2019 was a deck that compressed, hyper compressed, and basically looped this Free Fresh very easily with a combination of the Brainstorm and the Ilya pictured here. And what tied it together was a very strong level 0, level 1 game provided by the Global Clock on Core. So all 3 of these cards are now just can't be run together. So, and there are like really crappy replacements for the Clock on Core and the Azusa, but yeah.
crappy is an understatement.
The deck
I think
is-
they do not replace them.
If we see Fate, well, I'll just say this. I played Fate a lot last year, but basically, if we see the deck in 2020, it's probably going to look quite a bit different.
It's already
I
topped a
agree.
bunch of random locals with the they replaced the Avenger with actual Avenger, but then they don't even bother replacing Elliot.
It's so. I mean, like you can choose. You can choose Azusa. I think Azusa is probably going to be the choice. People are gonna try and find some alternative top end that does not involve the Free Fresh. But you know,
I think Free Fresh is easily the choice.
I think I would go with
think
Free Fresh
that-
as
I think
well.
there's quite a bit
Not
of
that different.
room to disagree or agree about that. But I'm just saying, like, I think if people are going to experiment, they're gonna want to choose. They're gonna choose the Azusa. I think.
What we can say is that the basically 3-3 event and the Shiro are banned. So you're either picking between the Ilya or the Free Fresh.
Yes.
There's certainly not going to be any advocates for Shiro. 3-3 event, probably not, but
I think if
It
anyone
more sense
advocates for
than
the
Shiro.
event, they're building a completely different deck, or they don't
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah, the
like,
deck.
they
Yeah, the
don't
deck would
understand
be
why.
Well, okay, if you
like
if you
completely
play,
different,
like,
probably.
Ilya Zerker or something, then maybe you play the 3-3 event. I don't know.
I
But
think
then
Ilya
actually it's
Zerker
the-
without Azusa.
I don't know what you do at the lower levels, but level 3 Rider is still pretty strong. So,
That's true.
like, level 3 Rider, and you still have access to the Alpaca clone at level 3. You might just have
level
enough
2
stuff to heal off
theoretically.
whatever you think. Yeah, true. So, like, you might play Rider and then use the 3-3 event to heal off whatever small amount of damage you take during that turn, and
like,
Yeah, but
I-
until then,
Might
you
be
do
okay.
It
nothing
just.
really.
Oh well, I just think that what made the deck strong wasn't necessarily the combination at level 3. It was just like
no, it's not.
it obviously had like such a strong opening salvo at level 2 that it was just hard to get it to level 3 in the first place.
Yes,
Right.
you could just play level 2 forever in some
Yeah.
games.
It honestly felt really disgusting and really fun, but you know,
Yeah,
that playstyle just doesn't exist anymore, or it just won't exist
unless you go to English.
unless you go to English. Yes.
Yeah. Because the 3/3 event was never pivotal to the deck.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, I bought English Fate. I own the deck. It's really good. But as far as I see it, there are 3 key synergies in the deck, and Bushiroad hit the 2 that they can hit. So the first is, Ilya and Clock on Koshiro. That's just, it lets you play super aggressively at level 0, generate more resources, knock your opponent off guard. Second is Free Fresh and Ulcer. I think that one's self-explanatory, or do you want me to explain it? I think anyone listening to this kind of gets it. It mills, this one heals and draws you a card. It's obscene. And then the third one is
neutral.
Yeah, like it's so dumb. Who was it that said it? I think it was Yue, right? Yue said that he was playing SAO against Tom playing Fate.
Yeah.
Why does my Lisbeth make me like? Why does my level 2 heal make me -1, while your level 2 heal makes you +1? It's like, yeah, that's the most succinct way I've ever heard it put. Free Freshers are OP. And then the third synergy, which is still alive, is like the 1/0 clock on. It's like it's the bar package basically. It turns the bars into actual filtering, and fixes your hand and makes everything consistent.
I like one direction I can see the deck going in is like running Flames of Hell again.
Oh god.
Because it can search Avenger and a level 1 piece.
But it's if you're using Flames of Hell to search the Clock Encore, I think there's some.
How much damage are you taking? Like, holy shit!
I mean, part of the reason why the card is so strong is because it was accessible level 0.
Yeah.
You control
Flames of Hell to me.
when you hit level 1.
1/0 blue event. Oh wait, actually you can't play Flames of Hell. They banned the only blue card.
Yes, that's also true. Yes.
Okay, never mind.
Nice. You can run the draw, Ricky. I'm sure you could still run the draw, Ricky.
No.
It was a 1/0 blue event.
Blue event. I'll be able to fetch the rest.
You search one master, search one servant, and then you clock it.
Well, what is the out? My forecast for Fate is very grim. 2020.
Yes. Wait for new set.
Back to business as usual. Yes, for Fate. Yeah.
Back to Fate.
Yeah.
The worst part is they didn't just hit like the 8-bar deck, which was
hit everything. They actually hit everything. Yeah, they hit everything.
Hitting Ilya
kills every deck. Like, well, no, hitting Ilya Free Fresh. It's like that's the synergy every deck.
And Clock Encore. Right? I mean, like, there's just so many. All these cards were not just like mainstays in the 8-bar deck. It was like the 4-bar 4-door deck is also basically not really playable anymore. Fate Laser lost a big component of its like secondary win con, which was the
Laser lost like everything. You can't like do Laser anymore without Free Fresh Asa, so you run out of cards.
It's kind of just. UA says Gilgamesh.
That lost Ilya Free Fresh.
No, he's saying Gilgamesh is the new way to play the deck in 2020.
Oh, well, whatever.
He's stomping on the grave of Fate. Yeah, he's just joking.
Actually, no. Coin Flip probably would play Ilya Free Fresh now because you have the level 0 Shiro combo. So you still want those. And they fucking banned the Clock Encore again.
Yes. I mean, yeah.
Sad times.
We talked about. Oh.
By the way, I maxed the deck, and then I didn't max it anymore. Fucking. Oh.
Just play it in English like a normal person.
No.
So Fate, I think, is dead and buried. All the Fate players have to go to Grand Order now. Sucks to be you.
Yeah.
Oh, gross.
And to sum up, I guess, Fate got destroyed. Sunshine and Kimono got light taps on the wrist, and Nisakoi and Monogatari are free to take over the world now.
I think Kimono is not going to be good anymore. Just
really?
Saying. I don't think it's going to be a good deck anymore.
I see. I think it'll be okay. I think
Kimono was like the perfect storm. It had just enough, and it could like turn the corner and then start pulling ahead, courtesy of the alpaca.
I don't know. It's been quite a resilient set, all things considered.
Resilient at
considering that like it has received almost no support since its original release. Finding relevance in 2019 is kind of impressive, honestly.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't really know why the deck found a resurgence. I think the deck still lacks consistency tools that other decks have, especially like early milling. You're
Well,
basically
no,
limited to
Chris. Remember that the entire meta is basically slowed down,
yeah. Kemono
which is a
obviously
big
like
problem,
thrives
right?
in slow metas, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna change a lot. Like Japan is still gonna have a slow meta and deck's still gonna be fine. I wasn't even running the event in the first place, so I don't think the nerf is like relevant.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
If
let's
the deck was good before, it's still gonna be good.
Any last words from Ken or Ryan about the changes?
I think Fate probably does have enough cards to make a decent deck out of, but
Would you take
I'm
it,
not
though?
sure if anyone's gonna bother with it.
Right. That's
Yeah.
that's the big
By
question.
decent, I don't mean like top tier. I mean like you
It's
don't
playable?
feel bad playing it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can understand that. It's just
Yeah.
I honestly just don't feel like putting time into it. I feel like pretty robbed by Bushiroad. Like they
Yeah,
were
yeah,
just
that's
like,
what I mean.
I don't want you to
Pretty
play this
sad.
deck ever again. So I'm just like, okay,
Yeah.
fuck, you can have what you want. I'm not.
Yeah, that's
doing it.
exactly what it is. Like, compare it to Sunshine, which is
Yeah.
being kept alive with plenty of, like, it's got an IV
Well,
in.
it
it's
felt
got-
pretty bad for Sunshine after they destroyed
Oh
Nero.
no!
That was.
Well, deck
Yeah,
is
and
Are
then
you
they
kidding
got a
me?
new
Nerfing it, restricting it to one copy? That felt terrible. I had that deck
Yeah.
maxed, man.
Yeah, but then they got a new booster, and Fate doesn't even have
Well,
something in it.
yeah. I mean,
But it's probably gonna get something, but it still feels bad because it's gonna be like
Like,
half a year from now.
I feel less bad because I had my time in the sun with the deck. So
the evidence is there. Like Fate, like Love Live Sunshine's still topping, and Fate is never going to top again unless it's Grand Order. So
yeah.
great, I guess. Like
That is-
it's obvious favoritism. It's very frustrating.
Okay.
Uh,
Set
Well,
schedule.
yeah.
Yeah, we can look at.
That's good.
Well, now we can just look forward to what's releasing this year, and
Yeah. So let's I guess I'll read it. I guess.
yeah. We should just cover the sets that are sequels, I guess, because we don't know
Yeah,
what the new properties are going to.
I will list them all, but some of them we're not going to dwell on long. Like Konosuba re-edit, we're not going to dwell on. We have the set list. There's nothing new, and Konosuba's always been, a pretty decent deck. Grisaya, we have
We've
Chaos's
seen
leftovers.
Have we seen
the
enough?
majority.
Grisaya?
Yeah,
We've seen
enough
all
to
the
say that
double
it's gonna be thoroughly mediocre.
Yeah, we have
Yeah,
all the double
I'm-
O's.
I'm quite upset, honestly. I have
Yeah,
4
It
Grisaya
feels
Chaos decks.
it feels super vanilla. Like compared to every other set they've done, like in the last half a year, it feels super vanilla and underpowered.
It has some like pretty decent level 1 options. They just don't lead into anything.
Yeah, but it's still
Well,
like just
the-
vanilla.
Machina level 3 is fine. I just don't think it's good enough without
Oh.
additional oomph. Like
Yeah,
if there was
like-
a video or something.
You
Is
need
Machina
something.
Climax Combo Musashi-esque?
Yeah, no, it's
Or the
the
early
burn
play.
for the amount of soul that you have on cancel.
Like the
Like-
combo is good if it has something good to go with it. And I don't think this set really got anything good to go besides like the Yumiko TD restander. I don't think
Yeah.
that's a good card. So
I'm in agreement there. It's a little
Before we move
unfortunate.
on past Grisaya, I guess. Quick comments about Slime and Bang Dream Volume 2 and Sao 10th?
Slime. Why are we talking about slime?
Oh, slime.
Because it was released,
Oh,
it
sure.
wasn't released
In
for the
between.
season, right? It's like a
Yeah.
new set, so.
Slime.
It looks fine. Doesn't look particularly impressive. It's like okay. Looks
when you're
better than
playing
Grisaya.
Slime
At
is
least-
practically locked into the level 1 pants combo, which I'm not particularly happy about, but there's just not really anything else to do.
Well, the combo is good at least. So-
Yeah, the combo is definitely fine. I just want options in general.
Right. What about you,
Uh,
Ryan? You're the resident Slime player.
ugh.
Really.
Deck's pretty good. You compress really well. You have really good deck speed, so you don't have to worry about your first deck. Like the only issue with the deck is it doesn't have like a super high ceiling. So like if like a game goes poorly, or if you have an unlucky turn, you fall behind and like you don't really have the tools to catch back up. But if you have like an average game or an above average game, it's a very strong deck.
You also can't guarantee the win in certain scenarios either, right?
Well, for the most part, you can because you have a climate swap at 0, like, and you wanna play high copies of it. You always want to have it sculpted in your hand.
Well, I mean like
your finisher doesn't
the
like
finishing suite or whatever.
Sorry,
Unless
what part?
You can't guarantee
right?
the win. As in, like your deck.
Unless you meant something else by it doesn't have comeback potential. Because I think part of comeback potential is having a very strong finisher. But that also means that also usually means if you have a good like finisher for a comeback, you know, you can also typically guarantee the win in scenarios where other decks cannot.
Oh, you said win. I heard win.
Yeah, the win. Yeah, sorry, I meant the win. Yeah, well, like your end game.
Yeah,
right?
so like the power of the end game in Slime is that it's super stock efficient. You
Right,
get finishers for 1 stock, you get healers for 1 stock.
You get more opportunities in differing, like maybe like when the variance isn't so good, I guess, as far as resource accrual.
You just don't like if the finisher isn't like super impactful, it's just burn 2.
Okay.
So like you don't have the ceiling to like close out games if like you fall behind or whatever.
Do you think people will play it?
Oh, for the season?
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be like a very prominent trios deck, but I don't think it's gonna be prominent in singles.
Okay. Fair enough.
I think that's a good assessment. In fact, that sounds right, to be honest.
Bang Dream Volume 2?
It didn't get a lot, but it got some things. Deck's still fine.
There's a
like
new level
marginally
1
buffed.
combo, right?
Oh,
Or is
that
it
part's pretty
still
good.
running Fever?
No. The deck is completely different now. Like a lot of the decks in Japan are Pant Standby,
I see.
Popipa.
Yeah.
You play like the Thai Pants level 1, and then the Kasumi 3/2 Standby.
Gotcha.
It got like
I
a new
briefly played.
premier top end option.
I briefly played the deck, but the level 3 Kasumi is pretty good at finishing opponents, but it also doesn't do anything else aside of being 13k, I guess. But sometimes I found that if I'm a bit ahead on damage, it wasn't great that I had these half vanillas in my hand because I don't want to end the game right. I can't end the game right now, and well, I don't want to pay 2 stock on something that doesn't do anything at the moment. And then Pop-In Party's best heal is a back row card. So I don't really want to field too many of those at the front row either.
Well, you could just like play
Not
not popping party heals like the Arisa Avenger and the field swap.
Yeah, I guess.
You only need 2 other popping party for the level 3 Kasumi, I think.
Yeah, they've been a bit loose on Pop-In Party because but yeah, that was mildly an issue.
The big strength of the deck though is that it's like really efficient at looping toilets.
Yes.
So like if you have like an average game and like you abuse toilet and you loop, like you hyper compress and then you get into really good deck states.
What do you mean
like,
looping toilet? Like your opponent is never gonna give you a toilet of your 1-0 combo.
No, sorry. Yeah, so they're almost never gonna give you the toilet off the 1-0 combo, but the 1-0 combo makes it so your toilet gets you whatever you want. And then like you have tools to pick up pick up toilets again later.
I mean, just running toilets lets you swap into the stock swap event, which gives you like extra ceiling outs.
Yeah.
Like Bang Dream got new tools. It's like still a good deck, but it didn't like get overpowered. I think. Like it's still just always a fine pick.
Okay.
Still...
I think it's not an outlandish thing to say that people will continue to play Bang Dream in 2020.
Yes.
Yeah, suddenly.
Yeah. It's out 10th.
The set is
got some good
meh.
cards.
The set's
Every
meh except
second
for the
person in
frame
my
rate.
locals is playing South 10. Fortunately, they're not on the same build, so it's still a bit more interesting.
I think the set has really overspec cards in general.
Yeah.
I don't know that a super dominant build has been found yet. I think people are still trying to figure out what works, what doesn't. But
because
I think if a
because
list,
everything is that good. No, sorry, you finish.
oh sorry, I think if a list is found, this set will be super relevant. I think the cards are too good in general, and I think like it's just too popular. Like Sal's always been popular.
Yes.
It's just gonna be played if it's good, and I think it's gonna be good. So
I think it will be played even if they don't find like the one OP deck. Just always gonna be played, and the card quality is high enough that like whatever pile you choose to play is gonna be somewhat competent.
Yeah.
But there's only one really broken card in the set, right? Level 3.
no, well, like
Everything
a bunch of
else
the cards are super overspec.
Everything
The
is more or less
1/0
above
bouncer,
average.
the runner, like
Yeah, but
a
there's
lot
a
of the
difference
back
between
row.
being above average and being insane. Like the
Yeah,
bounce
yeah,
is
no,
good.
no, but
Yeah, I'm just saying the tools. I'm just saying the parts are all there for a really good deck
Yeah.
to come out.
yeah. But as in what Sele was saying is because everything is kind of above average, you could stick together any pile of 50 cards that looks good enough. And it probably will be good enough to win
Right.
as many games as your skill level deems fit. But because it's such a set, it's kind of hard to pinpoint what exactly is the best build or general like direction.
That makes me
People's
really
not
sad when
really-
you have like sets like 10th anniversary and then they give us like Grisaya.
it is pretty unfair, honestly.
Like
Um,
Sal already has 15 sets and gets like everything,
Oh my god!
and then
You know the
Grisaya
sad thing
has,
was,
like,
I
one set,
thought
and you get shit.
I thought you were literally saying 15. I'm like, wait, are there actually 15 sets? That's how many sets there are. I had to think about that for a moment.
Oh,
I think
God.
there's 6 or 7.
I
It's
think about 8
ridiculous.
or so, yeah.
Uh,
Rumor is that at the demo session for SAO 10th anniversary, the Busherid rep said something like that they intentionally made the set a bit more powerful than
ah.
It's almost as if SAO sells well. Ooh.
Yeah.
Mm.
Wow, how
That being
shocking.
said, though, there have been sets that feel pretty pushed but didn't come through versus sets that felt somewhat experimental but
That
ended
is
up being
true.
pretty good anyway.
Yeah, that is a good point.
Like to be honest, I didn't think Fate after like immediately after the release of Heaven Feel looked particularly appealing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people
I think a lot of people felt that way.
Yeah,
I think for Fate the consensus was like there's probably something there, but nothing's like obviously broken.
Yeah.
Which felt fine to me.
On the other hand, I thought Cardcaptor Sakura felt pushed, but that didn't really come through, I guess.
I
think the only card in that was my son, right?
No, they had like a bunch of cards that were just randomly did more than like the profile should. Like the Mill Runner also hit secure. Your Resonate was you had Union for your secure. You had multiple bonds for secure.
No, I think like the entire 3-1, like the top band package felt pretty pushed overall.
Yes, like, Maison event Bonder for Maison was very pushed. You had a 1-0-65 for no reason. That was also a plus in combo.
Yeah, but you're not listing broken things though. You're just listing
as far as push goes,
yeah.
I think like more obviously pushed sets recently were Saikano and Review. So Review is actually kind of debatable. But
I think Review has good cards. Review has really high spec cards.
It has good
honestly.
The clean cut is super over spec.
That 2-1 thing, I think that 2-1 level 3 killer is also like really over spec for a level 3 killer.
Yeah, the twin drive, yeah.
The 2-1 twin drive is an absurd. They have a 4K counter for no reason.
Sorry, just before we finish on CC, earlier I said Union is the good, but the CCS one is also okay.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Well, the problem with that card is less so the card itself and more so the climax combos with. Saying standby at level 1 is garbage. It is.
I won't interject on this because I feel like we're gonna go on a tangent, but sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else to talk about as far as future sets? We could talk about Key 20th.
Bunny Girl.
Bunny Girl? Sure.
oh,
Bunny Girl
wait,
first.
wait.
Bunny Girl first, then Key 20th, I guess.
But
Bunny Girl is literally the next set we were going to talk about, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, should we talk about
Yes.
Memory Snow? Is that something?
No, let's just go. But let's just go in chronological order.
Okay.
The next set is the next set after this, after Grisaille, which is thoroughly mediocre, is the Grand Order TD, which no one's going to care about. Although I think it does have like a runner. Like who cares?
Hey, no, dude, they got the Tutu Kokyudas. That card's broken.
Okay,
yeah.
Whatever.
Gilgamesh is now in
come out of
green.
Grand Order.
The only
If the
other
best-
set that we know cards for is Bunny Girl, Booster for the OVA, and the cards look pretty good. I think Bunny Girl is gonna be an actually good deck after this set.
What makes you say that?
It patches a lot of the issues that Bunny Girl has, namely the early game. The early game was like the worst part of Bunny Girl by far. The level
Yeah.
3s were all fairly competent, but the early game was trash. And now you already got like a bunch of good early game cards. So
My opinion, though, is the standout card from reveals is actually level 3 Shoko.
I think that card is probably a lot worse than it initially looks.
I agree.
it's
It needs a
paid
really
too.
strong game to prop it up because it's so expensive in relation to Mocha, which is why Mocha's so good.
But
But,
I
like-
think like just the old end game was actually good enough, like the My level 3. And it just didn't have anything to support it.
I would be
And now it
very
has, like-
surprised if people were playing that. Like, I'd be very surprised if people end up playing that card.
Do you really
I
think
am-
that goes good? Like,
I do agree with the fact that early game in the previous set was pretty bad. By pretty bad, I mean, well,
Awful. Yeah.
quite awful. Yeah, the level 0 was horrendous.
Oh my god. Where
The
your
deck
level-
also
And I
lacked
had high hopes.
deck also lacked a lot of milling ability.
Yeah, it didn't have good deck control.
Yes.
Like you were playing this check top 2
You had
card.
to play like
and-
13 Weiss with a spammable Brainstorm. Make do.
You know.
Wait, what? I just used like Reese's, it's fine. But
If you
it's
weren't in that
very-
build though,
Very top tier deck control on the
But
version.
you
It's not
don't want
top tier.
you want to
But like the drop search milled too, the Rize milled like some cards.
oh no. So can I say something? I hate that drop search milling too. Most of the time, it's
Really?
so annoying when you just need to get a
Yeah.
card in your deck or in your bin, and you have to mill 2, and you mill a climax for no reason.
yeah, mandatory mill like becomes
Yeah, and then
it
new
scales really
yeah.
poorly.
the new drop salvage also has mandatory mill 2. The new clean cut
Yeah.
has mandatory
mean-
mill 2. Can they stop?
Good decks
The
can
thing
work
is-
around that, I guess.
I
the
think
conclusion
that-
is that Albuta just couldn't like adjust, right? It is like if you got like a
Oh.
bad mill or a bad
Yeah.
bad set of turns,
Yeah, you couldn't fix the bad mill
Like,
very easily.
it just sucks. Yeah.
I think that you have to just, roll with these punches. You need the mill more than you need not to have these random, not great situations.
Yeah, I
like
mean,
they're not even that bad. They're
Well, I don't think
like
anybody's
whatever.
saying not to run the drop searcher. It's just like
Yeah. But I
it's
don't
just
have
like
that.
an annoying part of running that card. which I
Very
can
annoying.
understand. Yeah.
By the way,
Sure.
we got another good level 3, but it doesn't work with the best level 3 in the set. Because it's like
Which-
another 4 or more character. early play.
Yeah, that card
Oh,
is
yeah.
very
That one.
appealing. This
I don't
one.
know. The show level 3. Very good. But it doesn't work with the best level 3 in the set. Feels bad.
As a standby advocate, I'm also a bit questioning. I'm kind of questioning how many I want to play in my deck because I still want to play the old Tomoe. The heal fall.
There's a lot of good level 3s.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that Q4 is going to be much better now because you can actually have, a game afterwards and not have to use most of your stock.
Yeah. But yeah, this card is powerful. Probably non-standby decks would appreciate it more.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Okay. Aside from that, we don't know any cards except for some TD cards from Assault Lily, which I have to buy now because I realized who the artist was, and that's really bad for me.
What was it again? The center on
Yeah, it's the center on Kagura artist.
Yeah. Nanyagashi is incredible, man.
I like
yeah,
their body
that's what
proportions more than
I
center on
think they're
Kagura's.
yeah, they are slightly more realistic.
Oh shit.
Slightly.
Oh, by the way,
Project
one more
Cycle.
thing I want to mention for Abuta. Why is like the event package so under spec for how complicated it is? Like
the blue
really-
events, yeah, they suck.
Like clearly
Oh, not the
the
isn't
Shoko
the
level
blue one the
3 and
better
like
one?
the entire event package is clearly like more or less the climax of the OVA, and it makes sense they would want to make it like a standout package, and like this is the big card, and this is like we have all these cards that work together, and then everything just sucks except the level 3.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It makes no sense to me. And they're even flavorful. It's just like bad cards.
They're
For
just
no
so
reason.
bad.
Yeah,
Uh,
had to get that out there.
you know, I'm pretty sure they could make this blue level 3 event better if they removed 6k power, like made it 2k power instead.
Just make it a 3-0 event and make it like heal 1 or draw 1 or something. I don't know.
That's a big ask, but yeah.
You need to play another 1-1 event.
Could we talk about
It's
Memory Snow
bad.
real quick?
Oh yeah, can we talk
No,
about
it's
that?
good.
No,
Can we
we're
talk-
gonna talk about that. No, we will get to that in the
Yeah,
tier
we
list
can.
video.
We can talk about Memory Stone when we get to ReZero on this list, because ReZero is on the list with the new OVA, Blood of
Well,
Ice,
Oh.
or Bond
Can
of
we
Yeah,
just
Ice.
talk about
Bond of
the other
Ice.
sets? We don't know any cards yet.
Yeah, there's no
Feels a
point in
bit
doing
pointless,
that.
honestly.
I guess not.
Let's just go to the tier lists because you know Bond of Ice is totally gonna have Memory Snow trait, right?
No, it's gonna be like Spirit since it's like Emilia and Puck OVA.
No one
which is
cares
good.
about your Amelia waifu deck, dude. No one cares.
Yes, I'm super hyped. Holy
nobody.
shit.
On to tier
Oh.
lists. We can start with
Okay.
Is
Sella.
mine oh
Top
shit.
to bottom, we've got Sele is first. He's got
Yeah.
his
So
so
just
go on.
like at A, I have this split into two parts, and like the question mark part is basically I'm not sure where these decks are. They're probably somewhere between A and B. So like Love Life, Sunshine, Fate, PDF,
Fate is I mean
Love
whatever,
Life
sure.
OG, and Slime.
Okay.
So these are like somewhere between A
What's
and B.
what are the major changes actually for you?
I think
Rewrite is out of S tier.
yeah.
And
And
then,
Sakano's in that too.
Saikano enters S tier for you.
Yes.
Why
AOT
is
is also
AOT
out
drop?
of S tier. I don't know.
Oh,
I
don't
think
AOT's
really
out of S tier
understand.
too.
I think just like other decks got good enough to where like AOT is just not like that standout comparatively. Like most of the decks that are very good don't really care about what AOT does for a majority of the game.
Well, AOT doesn't care about what other decks do. That's not like that's like the point of the deck.
Does Mem Snow affect your evaluation of AOT in 2020?
Yes. It's just another deck that like AOT has a really horrible matchup against.
All right.
But that's only one. Like you say another, but what else does it have a bad matchup against? It's only like you haven't even rated the Saikano deck Japan plays, and Fate is now dead. And I guess Milky Holmes, but no one plays that.
Well, I guess like Kimono was like the OG one that AOT had a horrible matchup against, and now like there's another anti-burn one deck.
Wait,
Was
why is
what I-
Kimono? Why is Kimono a bad matchup?
Anti-burn one.
Oh, sure, okay. I wasn't even thinking properly. That's fair.
Yeah. I think Million Knife is a pretty bad matchup. Konosuba is like alright. Milky Holmes I think is also not that great for AOT. I think it actually has a good Saikano matchup. Not good, but like decent.
It's
So
a
that's, like,
bad
something that's
matchup
going
if
for
they
it.
play the Kato bar though.
That's true.
Yeah. Well,
and the Kato and the
yeah.
Megami combo is probably going to be more popular than the
dominant.
Uta
Yeah,
combo
the
it's the
Megami
dominant
combo is
2020.
more popular in Japan. But I think like actually from what I've seen from the West, like people actually prefer Utaha Bar.
Well,
I don't know about
I
that.
At least
don't
what
know
I've
about
seen in
that.
Europe.
I do not know about that. I think it's just you and me, really.
No,
and
like
Ian.
Ian topped with it, and like whenever I see like Europe events, like most of it is Utaha Bar. So
What about
Okay.
What about well, Australia and like
Australia
if
just
Ryan
shoots
has any
Japan, man.
impressions on what he's been hearing about Utaha
Hmm?
combo
Uh,
versus Megumi
I don't
combo.
know anyone who plays Utaha in Sydney.
yeah, but like Sydney
No.
always
I don't know if that's
JP
because
decks,
they just don't want to or because they've tried, but
No, I
everyone
sincerely
seems
doubt
to
they've tried. They just pick up Japan. No offense to Sydney, which it is the efficient way to do things,
yeah,
but
it's pretty
that is just
efficient.
what they end up doing.
I haven't asked if they tried Utaha. Mostly everyone's on console.
Okay.
Right, sorry, can we be consistent? Let's go for Meku.
Okay.
Any other major changes that I might have missed? Actually,
I think
Sao
Bunny Girl is
enters.
gonna be
Oh,
A.
Bunny
Sao
Girl.
enters A
Okay.
because of the new sets. I think ReZero is like positioned pretty well. Again, like also the old deck.
Review's here too because of the new set as well, right?
Yeah, Revy is here too because of the new set.
Okay.
Oh wait, sorry, Standby Door review, which do you have a list in mind?
The Mahiru 3-2 and the Karen 3-2 from the first set.
Okay, what do you do at level 1?
I play
beat
4
them
of the Twin Driver, and that's it. And then I play like 10 Twin Drivers total, and I play like some copies of the 2-2. So just bank on hitting like one of the standbys.
Doesn't it bother you that you play 4 of the level 1 Twin Drive when it gains power whenever something else attacks?
It's
Well, not
annoying,
really.
yeah. But
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter in the end. I think
Okay.
the deck runs pretty smooth, I think. And you have like a cool level 3 suit of like different. But like my build is super weird because I also play the Akira level 3 just for the experience.
Just for the experience package, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just interested.
Yeah, I think everything else is pretty normal.
Okay.
Sorry, what's the SV after 8-bar in Project Diva?
Soundless Voice.
Soundless Voice.
Ah. Sorry, I thought it was Shadowverse and I was just couldn't understand.
Fair enough.
Yeah, for the questionable things, I think Fate, like something is gonna be good enough, I think, but I don't know what. PDF.
Good enough is as if good enough is A tier though. Good enough is never A tier.
I think Fate is like a card pool where some pile of cards might be A tier. I just don't know what pile of cards.
Fate's card pool sucks, dude.
Broken.
You've got this many sets, and they're all like 2013 and prior.
PDF,
one of the sets was 2014, same year as.
Yeah, same year as Busted Koi.
Oh shit.
With such standouts as the 1-0 Shiro combo to pay 1 game 3k search on reverse.
I've heard of that one. It's in Madoka Rebellion.
Another wonderful set.
No, but the Madoka Rebellion one doesn't need to reverse.
Okay.
Injustice.
As expected. Yes, Mami.
So Fate is just that bad. Wait, isn't Mami check top 4?
Yeah.
Yes, check top 4.
So it's just worse than Shiro.
Before they started printing like Magoros.
Okay. Everything else I think is probably about right. Although is 8-gate Nanohard the army deck?
No,
that's it. Oh well.
No,
Sorry,
it's
that's
just like
officially called gate.
like it's like this the
your level
salvage
1 combo
right?
is it's just salvage on attack.
Salvage combo, Xenon finisher thingy, and then Hayate, right?
Yeah.
Ragnarok breaker.
So.
And I'm also running like the bouncers. So it's just like good stuff, Nanoha, I guess.
Gotcha.
With like 8.
Okay. It's
Lychee's
turn.
Right. Oh, my turn. I don't know if I've got anything particularly controversial. You guys can point out what you think is controversial. I think the Utar Bar deck is just... Once it gets going, I don't think anything beats it, except exactly Million Life. I think everything else just loses to it. Maybe Kiriasu beats it, actually. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I don't know. I just always die from 3-0 after being like 8-20.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Good players only, dude. Good players only. But yeah, it's basically what was mentioned about the Fate having this obnoxious stay at level 2 game forever thing. Except instead of having a really OP free fresh, you have a mediocre counter. But in exchange, when you get to level 3, you can heal way more than Fate can. And Fate runs like 5 recurring healers and a 3/3 event, and you still out heal them, which is I think obscene.
Also you're like a compression deck that
doesn't drive the stock
safe
swap.
against stock swap.
Yeah.
Because not only can you just like shove your stock into memory, your end game is also like the most efficient end game of any deck.
Yes.
If you want it to be.
Not
Since you
the
can
most
like pre-span stock, and then you only need like 3 stock to
Oh,
enter your
sure.
level 3.
Yeah, for the if you're going to use the level X's to heal up and stuff.
Yeah.
And you also have really good game at level 2 because your EP, which is normally pretty unremarkable, just contests field really well if you play specific cards. I don't know. I just think the Utab Bar deck is you have to be really comfortable playing with like 4 hand for half the game. But if you're comfortable with that, then you're rewarded by this deck, which just makes everyone call you a stupid luck sack because you cancel and stay at 2-1 the whole game. But when it happens this much, it's like I'm not luck sacking anymore. This is just a deck, and like everything else I've listed, I think is pretty standard. I've got memory snow really high because the level 3 is obscene. The consistency is obscene. I've got the Saikano bar deck. The Megu bar deck is like good, but it's not as good. It's not nearly as good. Love Live Sunshine was a really lazy placing for me. I feel like it's probably just an A deck. I didn't think about it very hard. Same goes with Cardcaptor Sakura, because I don't know. I only think that Myson's just a really pushed card, and that's really good, but I don't know if that's enough to put it any higher. And everything B, I am notable in omissions. I don't have Overlord because I think Overlord sucks. I have Fujimi there, but it's very reluctant. And my beloved LB is down there as well. Makes me sad, but what can I do?
End of
You have an
era.
expansion coming, so you can wait for that.
Yeah, when Q20 comes out. Sorry?
Where's Tulavru, the eternal mainstay?
Oh, Tulavru should be B tier as well. I think it's still strong. Wormhole's still really, really dumb now that Fate is no longer the big thing, and like bouncing stuff is good. I'll just add it. It can be like near BD. That's fine. TLR. Yummy-con. I think that because what Chris has done, what Sally's done, he's gone and preemptively placed decks with new sets, and I don't believe in doing that. But if I was going to do that, I think SBY jumps up a tier because it actually has game before level 2, and I think that's pretty good. I'm not counting, play standby, trigger standby, get 2 of the Koga and sack. That doesn't count. SMP has incredible results for a deck in B tier, but I think it's just inherently not that good a deck, and also it's just a worse version of Guilty Kiss. So I'm putting it in B. And Symphogear, I'm really not sure about, but I think it's B tier. It's good enough. It's better than
the thing you can say for SMP over Guilty Kiss is that it's like better at stabilizing if it eats like a lot of damage early, because SMP just naturally plays more heals.
Sure, that's totally fair. And I can get behind that.
Also, Owl randomly wins bullshit games for no reason.
I mean, that's an Icy Tail thing. I don't like.
Yeah.
I don't think that's really something I factor
The difference between Icy Tail and Owl is that Owl is optional.
Well, the difference is Icy Tail costs no stock and like minimal hand. Owl is optional, which is fine, but you can't like get. Because the really busted thing about Icy Tail is like playing 3 of them and your opponent gets guaranteed damage, right? And then
I think when you play 3 Icy Tail, you don't necessarily appreciate the more like not necessarily the third one in terms of attacks, but just having 3 so much.
Well, generally,
Because
what
you're gonna
happens is you
probably
do
refresh
it
it.
after they've unloaded, right? Like you apply. Well, okay, so this is just me, but whenever I played Icy Tail in literal Icy Tail in Saikano, I would kind of like punch them to 3-3 or whatever. They would heal down, and then you mill them into a worse deck. That's what
Yeah,
happened.
no, of course you can do that, but it's not like, how do I put it? Like if you play 2 Isles, you can still create a similar scenario.
Yeah,
anyway.
the optionality is
Play
super
a finish
powerful.
on
I
top.
agree with you. But it also costs you like the rest of your resources,
Yes, I guess.
which is, I think, a downside. I think it has to be a downside.
It is if you're planning,
If you're
well,
not
if
killing
you're seeing a scenario if you're not winning, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think SMP is super good at winning either.
Yeah, I don't think SMP is super good at winning either. So that's fair. I just think as a
But it is-
standalone, it's a lot more versatile.
Yeah, if they're like 3-5, then single hour is a really, really good thing to have. I definitely agree with that, especially if it's optional.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't specify what build of Goblin Slayer either, but that's because I think basically every build is around there. And if you want to you can say Priestess is low. I don't really care. It's not really something I care to talk about. Yeah, that's me. I don't think there's anything too contentious there. Rewrite might go up with 20th. Okay, so Dexter might go up. Konosuba with movie. SAO could be S tier. I don't know enough about how the games go. I just know Curiosity is insane. Rewrite will probably go up with 20th. It just needs like 2 cards, man. It needs like a couple more cards.
It's getting 20, so.
I think it's like almost certain that the Konosuba movie is gonna get movie locked. So I don't know if it's gonna go up.
Really?
All you need is adventure.
Yeah.
If
I think
ReZero
didn't they
if
confirm
ReZero gets movie locked, why would
Did they confirm it?
Konosuba not get movie locked? It's
Crimson
100%
Demon trait.
movie locked.
Because they released re-edit just before the movie, and then if they're not related, it seems a bit.
They haven't confirmed it yet, but like
Yeah, that's what I mean.
it's like the logical thing that you'd assume to happen. Like the old Konosuba card pool is really strong. That's like the trend for movie sets.
Yeah, I think that Konosuba can't actually be upgraded very much more. I think that in its current iteration, it's basically as good as it's going to get, with the exception of some level zeros.
There's also
And
like
level zeros,
there's also like a danger fact. If they don't movie lock it, they can like print some. They like print one wrong card. It pushes Konosuba into absurdity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, my hopes for the movie set was that it expands upon the other builds, because Konosuba has a lot of good cards alongside a lot of really bad cards.
Yeah, but you know what the movie's about, right? It's the Crimson Demon.
Yeah,
they go to magazines all the time. So like if it's not movie locked, it's gonna be magic trait mainly. So it's gonna only like benefit the meta deck, quote unquote, not like goddess or darkness or whatever.
Oh no, well the thing is, it could be magic trait but not adventurer trait, so that could be a thing.
Well, no, but that doesn't matter.
I know
It still helps the red deck.
That applies to everything in the meta deck. Actually,
That was mean.
It's everything. Yeah.
That was mean.
What? Oh no! Sorry, dude. That was
mean.
literally the point. I wasn't even trying to do that time. I'm sorry.
What?
I just want to make a point, man.
Talk about magic trait to Ryan.
Are you memeing me? Not like this, dude.
Oh, fine. Okay, fine.
You
can believe what you want. But I'm not that much. Not that much. You know how many times I've done it already? It gets old after like 3. I'm not gonna do it again.
Anything else?
Oh, and Project Diva kind of sucks. You can see in my progression, I have it going from like S to A to B. It's like there's gonna be E tier.
It is
next
interesting seeing these tier lists change over time.
The thing is, I've never played PDF more than like a few games, so my sample size was hilariously low, which means I probably just overrated it based on seeing some games where it was completely OP. Like the games I saw always had at least 2 of the events in memory, so it was like, how'd you lose? But yeah, it just kind of sucks now.
Yeah.
I think
How do you lose? But also, how do you win? Question mark.
Exactly. Like you're so vulnerable. You don't do very much. Level 1 and below is, aside from having a Ricky, it's like garbage. Anyway, I've kind of taken up a lot of time, but
It's okay.
if you guys have anything else you want to talk about in regards to this list, like I said, I think that there's some decks that could definitely go up. Except Symphogear. Symphogear is destined never to rise above that. It's just very sad. How many sets has it gotten where it's done nothing?
Every set.
I think
literally,
Symphogear
literally every set.
is pretty okay. Right
GS.
My
Wait, what's
my
GS?
Chris Waifu deck got a lot better with the recent
GS is
set.
Goblin
now.
Slayer.
Oh, GBS.
GBS.
Yeah, it's GBS. Okay. Is it my turn
Uh,
now?
GBS is Guillain-Barré syndrome. Thank you very much.
Is the reason you didn't use a set prefix use Starlight because it also stands for something else?
No, he just.
He forgot about it, probably.
It was literally the first thing I thought of, and I didn't want to look up what the actual one.
I thought you just didn't want to call it an RSL.
Retired Service League.
Yeah.
I literally could not remember what the set prefix was. It was like Hageki Starlight Review or something nonsensical like that. It's like I didn't want to think about it. All right, let's not waste any more time. Tom, yours. Go.
I did away with my
what
S tier.
What is this list?
I did away with my
What
S
all
tier. Nothing is S tier right now. I only have a question mark tier.
So it's
The
like
reason
A+,
why
I
the reason
guess.
why nothing is S tier is because an opinion I've developed recently is that I think S tier decks are typically developed in response. Well, they're basically developed in response to like a meta, and I think true S tier decks in this game are decks that take full advantage of what people are playing.
My counterpoint to that is Nisekoi.
Basically, well, okay. Basically, I don't think there's a deck right now that has such a leg up on every other deck as far as card quality that, there's no Nisekoi-esque deck right now for me. So that's why I did away with my S tier.
I think like the difference between S and A is pretty small.
Yeah.
I think so.
I felt like I felt like the
last
S tier. Yeah, I felt like the S tier was kind of becoming less important as a distinction.
Yeah, I think so.
And so I just kicked a lot of stuff to A tier, moved some stuff to B tier. Yeah.
I'm surprised you haven't built Memsnow yet.
Oh yeah. I just haven't gotten around to trying it.
Pretty good deck.
So I don't know.
I think Memory Snow's pretty damn insane. I'm saying this knowing who a lot of the main proponents of the deck are, but I still think it's really obscene.
Quite surprised you guys think Memory Snow is that good, but okay.
I think the level 3 is
have you ever sat
so
across
much
from the level
better
3
than it looks.
I feel like the level 3 is fine, but you don't have any particularly strong plays that let you make it as strong as it could be.
I think the thing about Memory Snow is that it's just absolute top of consistency. Like, I'm not sure if there's a deck that's more consistent. Because you
what makes
even
it
have
so consistent?
You even have a consistency card for your CX. Which is
the
Mayo Man.
Mayo Man.
Mayo Man. And yeah, you really don't care about what your opponent is doing at any point of the game. And just get to do your thing and plus for free and generate resources for free. And then that just leads into an end game where the opponent can't really do anything. If they don't kill you after your combo turn, they're dead. And you also shut down some of the most dangerous finishes, which are the ping 1.
What? Finishers are playing ping 1 now, though. Aside from Guilty Kiss, let's say.
AOT and stuff like that.
But I also think
AOT
is not a very...
Yeah, those tend to be the ones that actually kill from 3-0. The others don't really. And you also have
I'm not really
sack
sold on
counter.
the Mayo Man event, because if you don't see one of the 2 cards in the top 7, you just discarded one for no reason.
Yeah, but the set is like fine with that. I found.
Well, you're not going to hit that. That's not going to happen multiple times. That's when it really stings.
Even once kind of sucks.
I don't know. It doesn't happen very often. Like, it just doesn't. You've got it. Because like, think of it as
a couple of times, but I
it's
feel
like
like
it's an Azza for 8 cards.
It misses more than Armin and AOT, marginally, but
probably
it hurts less, I think. Like
that's probably also true.
Because the plussing is so free, it's like doesn't really matter.
But yeah, like you said that you don't care what your opponent does, but in however many games I've played against Memories now, I also felt like I'm not really threatened whatsoever by what it's doing until I hit level 3. But by that point, I've had ample time to do what I wanted to do. So the only thing I'm scared of is randomly taking damage against. So yeah, I'm not particularly sold. But I'll get to that on my thing. I actually not even write very much on my thing. But yeah, sorry, keep going.
Oh, I don't know. I just mentioned it. Yeah, Tom.
I don't know if there's any grievances.
What's
with
8 bar SIS? What's 8 bar Saikano?
Wait. Oh, oops. I meant oops. That's a typo.
Okay.
4 bar 4 door. Oops. I was like maybe you had Fate on the brain or
Fate.
something. Yeah.
You playing the old Megami level 3?
Oh, God no. Please. Please no.
That deck is better than people think it is, but also not good enough to be on a list like this, I think.
Yeah.
Like sending things to memory for free and leaving them there.
No.
Yeah, but like so the other decks do that
the way
as well.
The way the old bar combo works is you use the red 1-0 event to like skip level 1. And then you hope you cancel in first deck and then you win. And if you don't cancel in first deck, you die. Yeah.
Anyways,
if you cancel in first deck, the deck's broken.
My major innovation is no S tier yet. Everything else is kind of boring, honestly.
I don't think that's a major innovation. In fact, I think someone else did that as well. I can't remember who it was.
I did
Probably
that.
Ryan.
Did Ryan do
Ryan,
that?
yeah.
Yo, let's go.
Yeah, I'll talk about it when we get there.
You can go right now. I don't think there's much.
No, Ken's next. Ken's next.
Oh,
can I have something before we go on?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, KS 4 stocks on 4 door foreclosure. Is foreclosure such an unused card that you needed to write it?
I think there are enough Magic decks hovering around, especially English players who only. This is not relevant, but there's so many English decks that are like pure Magic for whatever reason.
I just wanted to be specific.
Okay,
it's not really a reflection of like what I think.
Foreclosure is fine because foreclosure is the best card in the deck.
Yeah, I just put foreclosure there because I think it's like.
He wants to be specific, but then SAO 10th, the least explored deck on.
Okay, you know what? Hey man.
But I mean, no, we already established that we don't know what the best build is, so don't most other people. So I think it's fine to just 10.
Yeah. Well, Ken's tier list is interesting.
Yeah. So before I get accused of being, well, I guess I am lazy. Sorry. Yeah. So kind of what we were talking about, how there's no S tier and such. Just because most of what was performing last season got hit, or a good part of it at least, anyway. So we have the leftovers from last season, which Saikano, Love Life Sunshine, sort of. I think Goblin Slayer is kind of okay again, but then Hina Logic also is seeing a bit of play. So
okay.
Yeah, Goblin Slayer can't really beat Hina Logic.
Play and win against any deck ever printed in the last 2 years.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
How does Hina Logic win against any deck ever printed in the last?
So we're kind of in an unestablished meta, right? So even without principles,
he's right.
There's a lot of people not playing answers, and you can win off that. But that's why the question.
It's like the
I feel like it's gonna fall off eventually. Yeah, so back to what I was saying, we're kind of in this weird point again where the meta's unestablished. So we have the leftovers from last season, whatever looks promising right now. And I feel like you can kind of play whatever you like if it's not here, and it's still fine as long as you keep these things in mind. One thing I wanted to talk about is every level 1 combo in SAO, except the gold bag one, I think, which doesn't really matter, hits 7k on offense with the climax. Which is a similar number to Love Live, which is 7k or 5, including 100 back on a climax. Goblin Slayer, which is also roughly 7k.
Amelia.
Plus whatever back row you have. Amelia 7k. You can put stuff up that's out of that range. It's pretty strong. So Love Life Sunshine being able to put up 118k or 7.5 base plus usually a 500 support in the back is quite powerful. I've been dabbling a bit with Symphogear, playing that 1-1 which gains 3-5 on a level, facing a costless character.
That card's pretty good.
Yeah, those cards have been doing pretty well recently, so I think maybe we could revisit Standby, but at the same time, it's pretty annoying when SAO Anniversary does counter those and stop you from encoring, so... yeah. Right now, these are what I think the popular-ish decks are, so just play whatever you kind of like and establish what you want to play. Seeing as, it's a bit different for outside of Japan. I don't have a tournament until June, so I'm just using this time period to play around with what I feel like I like, even if it's not the best deck. I've been playing Kill la Kill recently, and I'm like 50-50 against SAO.
Yes.
It seems like the least relevant statistic we've talked about.
It's very irrelevant. But
Yeah,
the point is, actually just bring out whatever you feel like is worth learning from, and
that's
play
fair.
around with that.
Kill la Kill is weirdly placed because it actually does have some it has some chops at level 1 actually.
Yes.
With the anti-heal,
Okay.
and if you don't mind being a little resource light. But anyway.
Yeah. Kill la Kill 7-5 on defense, which is a really good number.
Last but not least,
I'm gonna mention one thing I forgot mentioning when we talked about future sets because I think I just overlooked it or something. I'm calling it now. Madoka S tier with new set.
Okay, dude.
Okay.
I think
Madoka
Madoka.
By the way, if you look back on my old tier list, I have like somewhere written February 2019, Fate S tier soon TM. Just saying, called it. This time I'm gonna call Madoka.
Okay. Okay, dude.
Yikes.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Alright, Ryan. Your turn.
Yeah, so like Tom, I don't think there's an S tier right now, so I put nothing. I do make the note that like I think Saikano and like potentially Sao 10th anniversary could like become the S tier when the meta gets defined, but like because we're like at a point where the meta is not defined and people are just sort of playing, like it's really hard to say and call what's going to become the S tier. So I'm not gonna put them in just yet.
Fair
There's
enough.
also no big
TSK.
tournament.
Is that slime?
Yeah,
Slime.
TSK is slime.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like, so broken.
I tried to make the A tier like the quote unquote like great decks, I guess is how I'd put it. It's like A tier is like great decks for tournaments, and then B tier are like good decks for tournaments. That's how I tried to make my tier list. So like if you go to a tournament, I think any of the decks on the list would be good. But like the ones in A tier are more favored to win than the ones in B tier.
What would you take to a tournament right now? Right now, for $100 billion and a gun to kill yourself.
God, like a singles event?
Yes, singles events, unknown meta.
Oh,
Maybe we should
probably
ask everybody the question, but we can start with Ryan.
Probably Love Live, the original Love Live.
Yeah. I don't hate that answer.
Okay.
Like the deck has some consistency issues, but I think that they're very minuscule in comparison to like the power that the deck has with stocks off Fumio. It makes it a very powerful tournament deck.
Fair enough.
Ken, what would you take? Don't say Kill la Kill. You're not allowed to say Kill la Kill.
No, definitely not Kill la Kill. That's a That's a learning deck.
Yeah, $100 billion.
It's hard because the decks I've been playing recently aren't the decks that I think are the best decks.
Yeah, same here actually.
Okay, you're someone else and I'll think of it.
Yeah, sure. Tom, what are you taking?
Nobody
Hard
knows.
question, right?
It's hard when like the meta's so undefined.
I think I would take Saikano.
Which Saikano?
Megumi Bar. Level 1.
Okay. Chris.
Wait,
Million.
you're not even gonna ask me why?
I mean, do you want me to ask you why? I'm just gonna rip
I'll
out
ask
your
you
reason.
why.
Okay. I think it is the most meta-proof out of the A tier decks that I would consider taking.
Sure.
You did say like Megumi Bar, right?
Yes, he said Kata Bar.
Level 1, yeah. I think it is the most meta-proof, and I think it has the most tools to take on a lot of like random decks, like with the JC, for example, or like being able to ignore backups and events at level 3. I value being able to ignore or take advantage of decks.
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes at the cost of card quality, but, you know.
I think the JC at level 3 thing is a theory craft thing that people always say, but doesn't really pan out.
JC at level 0 and level 1 is like good enough. I think it's like super good.
I actually
Yeah, but I
mostly
think
use it
that-
for level 3. I just run
Well,
it.
okay, maybe you do, but I'm aggressive as hell.
Yeah, that's my reason for choosing that deck.
Sure. Chris, go. Is it Million Life? Why is it Million Life?
Yes,
Oh,
it's Million Life. Similar reason to Tom, the deck really is completely uninteractive and basically just a solitaire deck that can't really be countered.
I think it
Okay.
doesn't impose. I think it has less opportunity to impose its will though. In a meta, it's really just like doing its own thing, rather than like.
Is that deck
actively? Huh?
Is that deck even consistent enough for like, say, an 8-round tournament plus top deck?
Yes.
And anyone else want to answer?
I think it's hard to play. I think it's really hard to play consistently. But of course, you know, Christian has always been the resident, all-out skill everybody else in the room player. So I think this choice makes sense for him.
I don't even know if Million Life is skill more so than just having a lot of reps.
It is skill. I mean, it's like
be honest.
practice, being confident in your decisions.
Has has a lot of different lines you can take, and you can manipulate. Like, there's no other deck in the game that can manipulate like its library.
Here's the real reason why he's playing this deck.
Okay, Guardian player. I see how it is.
Okay, Tamaki is broken. Okay, bullshit card.
Tamaki.
What are you taking?
Oh right, yeah.
You could say Henologic.
Choice one is Arbiter, just because played that deck for a while.
Is this assuming new set, or is this assuming like?
Not assuming new set.
Okay.
As in, if the tournament was in 1 week or something.
Sure,
the reason I'm not playing Arbiter right now is just because I got bored of it after like 5 months of playing it. But I feel like I have enough experience with that deck that I would comfortably take it to a tournament if need be. But if I decide that Arbiter's not a good meta call, Sinfigure.
Sweet.
The other deck I'm trying right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm trying that deck.
The only issue I'm finding is that it doesn't do anything to break your opponent's compression line. But
it doesn't have like any.
What is strong deck control? It's okay.
What?
You have enough heals.
What build are you using?
Door standby, mostly Tsubasa. I think that's the list on UU
No, but like which door? I guess.
Maria.
Yeah. Wait, level 1?
No, the 3/2.
Level 3.
Oh.
So he's playing like sort of like my list with the 1/0 the Giga Zeppelin combo, but then it's
no. I'm not playing the combo.
Oh, you're just playing empty standby.
I'm playing empty standby. The list is on UU too.
Wait,
Played the deck for a bit.
why empty standby?
I
Like,
think because Zeppelin is bad, to be honest, so it makes sense that
well,
you wouldn't.
well, sure, but like you're playing the climax anyways, and you're not playing another level 1 combo.
You can just
Well,
play like
I want to
the...
roll out at level 1 on multiple lanes, and I'm playing the 1/0. It's
Yeah, the
put up
6
to 2 on the
too.
attack.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that card's really good.
Try and attack and trigger standby if I don't draw it already.
What's the
Because I also want to use
secondary
standby
level
at level 1. Sorry, at level 0 quite a bit to pull out the 1/1, which has Mario name, but
Right.
fortunately.
Oh,
Right.
what's the 1/1 do?
It's an
gain
8
3/5 on a level.
against cost
Oh,
It's
0.
the anti
Sure.
zero.
Yeah. Okay.
Where is it? It's more or less this list, which I'll send in now. But that's something I would try.
Yeah, I guess it wheeled round to me. My answer is Utah Saikana, because I believe in that deck a lot. I think it's super strong. But if you were to tell me the metagame was like, I don't know, a bunch of people who were very casual, didn't know a great deal about everything, just kind of picked a list online. So, you know, any American tournament, I would.
Oh. Okay.
I'm kidding. No, if it was like purely for comfort, I'd take Konosuba. I'm just very comfortable with that deck.
Actually, I would
play Megumin early plays, Ryan, by the way. Maybe not 4.
I wanted to add something because I just thought of it regarding what Ken said about a lot of decks attacking for 7k.
Yeah.
I think like Kantai did horribly or like saw very little play in conversion. But I think Kantai is actually in a pretty good position if you consider that.
Kantai showed up.
Tri-Fields 118Ks for no reason.
Kantai showed up at in WGP too.
Like, isn't the issue with Kantai that you have to attack with a 5k before they become 8ks?
It doesn't really matter when you win board after that.
Well, like if you hit 1 second, you're in like this really awkward spot where you either have to side or like hope that your opponent didn't do their level 1 combo, or else you don't get the board value.
Yeah,
I think that deck is counting on attacking into trash, right? Like level 0 trash.
Yeah, or just accounting
well,
like.
If that happens, you're like super far ahead. But even if that doesn't happen and you side, and then your opponent has to crash like 3 lanes, so whatever. Because the thing is that you like plus 6 off of this. It's actually absurd.
Level 1 combos aren't typically allowed to win board.
Yeah. It's like people playing standby combos at level 1, but in like an absurd fashion.
I can respect that. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's it for this iteration of our bi-yearly Banlist Tierlist Roundtable.
Yeah.
So
something like that.
This is coming
a little late.
Yeah, like a month and a half after the actual Banlist came out. But the trade-off is that we had a little bit of time to, you know, think about the sets that have released recently, and then, you know, also think about what's going to happen this year. And I hope everybody found the discussion that we had fairly productive.
No, same days. Before we do go, does anyone have anything they want to say, or any shout outs, or any shilling they want to do?
Yeah.
I've uploaded a very long video about ReZero. If you're interested in like the yellow blue stock soul deck, that's on the Strictly Broken YouTube channel.
It's still somehow underrated, despite you shilling it for approximately 8 years.
Yeah, I don't know why. Deck's actually broken.
Wait,
it's really good. Yeah.
8 years.
No,
is it?
I've
Well,
shilled it.
oh,
I've
come
shilled it
on.
ever since it came out. It was like 3 or 4 years ago. I don't
You
remember.
just don't have the clout that I do.
Yeah, feels bad.
Everything I touch turns to gold.
Yeah,
Nice joke.
Fujimi, man. Tell Yue hi. Also, I'll see how much play sets up.
Ryan, Ken, any shoutouts?
Me. I'll give a shout out to my team, I guess. WCC.
What does that stand for?
And we'll go with Grab Card Fight Consulting.
Where can we find you on the internet?
You can follow me on Twitter, as I usually say. I think the link to my Twitter account will be in the description, so
Yes.
check me out.
And WCC is doing a lot of according to Strictly Broken owner Yue Peng, WCC sucks. We'll let that one slide. WCC is doing a lot of great written content. I think they're the most consistent written content producers right now in terms of Weiss, even though that's not their main focus. We've got great writers like Ken here, who's doing a lot of the editing. We've got I think Darcy Merritt is his name. He's a very good writer. He's done some good articles exploring some of the lists, and we've got plenty of other content. We'll leave the link in the description. Ryan, would you like to shout anyone out? And you're not allowed to shout out the guy who's bullying WCC.
Damn, dude. Yeah. Shout out to Strictly Broken TCG, best voice store in North America. Buy your playsets from Yue and Kun.
God damn it! I said you weren't allowed to do that.
I didn't shout out Yue. I shouted out the store. Come on. Shout outs to Ian TCG as well. Download the app. His app is great.
Yeah. Tom, do you have any?
No.
Nate. I'm gonna shout out Riaz Mohammed because he shouted me out on the Strictly Broken one, and then everyone laughed at him, and that made me feel bad. So I'm gonna shout out to him because he's Worlds was a clown fiesta, but he was the best clown. So yeah, get wrecked, everyone else. And yeah, that's about it really. Shout out to Obstagoon. I hate Obstagoon so much.
Obstacle.
Yeah. Anyway, that's I think that's probably it from us. Look, I don't even know anymore. Top tier tiers, like what is the more a mega fan at this point for various bits of content. Hopefully we'll have some more stuff coming out, but it's been a rough few weeks for some people here, and that has slowed our content production right down. But hopefully we'll get back on the train and see what we can do. There might be some other stuff, not set reviews coming as well. So I mean, we're not monetized or anything, but you know, sub, like, do whatever. Let us know that you're listening. Hit us up on Discord. Hit us up on Facebook even. Some of us moderate the page, and we're happy to talk, happy to answer questions, do all that great jazz. Leave a comment. You know, get in contact because talking is how communities grow rather. Oh, I do have one shout out to the Encore Decks guy who's great. He's doing so much good work, and he's the platform's very close to what WS Decks was, and I think it'll be even better in the future. I don't know if he listens, but hey, there's a shout out.
Actually, can I do one more shout out?
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to Carmen and the Pittsburgh crew, PGH Weiss. Check them out on YouTube. They make some great content for English Weiss at the moment. So if you're looking for English content, go to them.
That is a channel I am personally subscribed to as well. It's quite good. I'm not sub to Strictly Broken, by the way. Let's just put that out there.
We shout you out, and this is how you treat us.
I'm kidding, of course I'm subbed. You can literally check. I'm obviously subbed, but sticking it to you,
I'm not sure if I'm
anyway,
subbed,
I think
honest.
Anyway, that'll do it for us. From everyone here, and thank you to our esteemed guests. Been lovely having you on as always. And hopefully we'll have many more collaborations in the future.
See you next time.
Bye.